It's a Dr. Pierce Thursday. Dr. Jeff Pierce is in studio with us. We are honored. Michigan Sports and Spine. Doc, what's the word? You know what? We always say we won't have any. We try to find injuries to talk about. We get to talking about golf and we get to talk about other things. Well, boy, oh boy, there are a lot of injuries to talk about today. My friend, how are you doing?
Good. How are you all? I love your passion on that read for Soroki's.
Well, you know, people spend money with us. We want them to feel good. We want to let them know that we are reading their reads with honest passion. It's just a credit to you.
Not cutting you off. Just a credit to you. Whatever you do, you have passion for.
I appreciate
and people
that.
People don't know that about you. You know, you're Braylon Edwards, big U of M guy, but there's a lot of passion behind you. I just got to do a shout out for you.
True story.
You know what? Thank you. Sometimes you got to slow down in life and receive compliments. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Lions, slew of injuries now. We got Jahmyr Gibbs in the hamstring. We have Terry Arnold, rookie first-round pick. He has the pec. Ennis Rakestraw has a foot. Want to focus on Gibbs right now. We know it's a hamstring. It's not an ACL. It's not a meniscus tear. Contrary to popular belief, it's a hamstring. Hamstrings can be tricky, though, Doc. Talk about why hamstrings can be tricky.
Well, I know you've probably had them in the past.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, the hamstring, we kind of just group it in as a big muscle, right? It's all in the back of the leg. It's something that's back there, but it's made up of multiple muscles, multiple ligaments. And people are like, oh, it's a hamstring injury. Well, this guy came back in 2 weeks, and this other guy's out 7 weeks type of thing. It's because of the location. It's the amount of muscle. It's the amount of involvement. Is it close to the attachment, meaning where it inserts by the bone, down by the knee or up by the buttocks? All those are major factors. If it's a mid-belly, the bigger muscle, there's 3 different muscles. If it's in the bigger muscle, they're usually a hill better because you got that other parts of the muscle that can take over. When it's the smaller one of the muscles and that's involved, it just tweaks you a little bit more. So it's like the size, the location is huge. So, and a lot of times we can, wrap it, do some secret sauce, do some injections and things like that. But if it's up near the bone, it lasts longer. So it's more involved. So kind of simplify things. For him, I think hopefully it's more of a mid-belly. I know he had an injury last year. I think it's similar. Is it a re-injury? Did he spend enough time on the off-season kind of healing it? I brought up that we can do a musculoskeletal ultrasound. I'm sure he's done all the great imaging for it to really tease down where it's at or how much is involved. So that's why you asked the question, How do we know the difference? How do we know how long it's going to be? It's really the location, but it's also the player. He's the type of player that hamstring is very important because
he's a dynamic, speedy guy. He's a lot of acceleration.
Yeah, he's changing positions. He's got to be able to stop on a dime and change directions and take the brunt of a tackle and push through it type of thing. So he should be fine. I mean, the call to sit him down the rest of the preseason, have him ready, means that for the most part we're getting him ready for the real games. He's proven himself. He's gritty. He's got a lot of gut, a lot of heart. He's going to play through a lot. So I think we get him as healed up as possible and ready to play for, first game.
Yeah, you're right. You talk about the lower hamstring injuries. The mid was the mid-belly, and then the high hammy. I had a mid-belly when I played in the NFL, and that thing never seemed to go away. I seemed to always have to do maintenance on it. The Lions are going to have to do maintenance on Jahmyr Gibbs during the season. How do they keep him in best form? Like how does that look in terms of coming up with a treatment plan, practice plan for him to be in best form for the season? Because those hamstrings are very fickle.
I mean, you're right. I mean, mid-belly, to be honest, is usually the easier ones to treat. You had a nagging, did it get finished? A lot of times, it's such a powerful muscle, especially in football players, hockey players, things like that. You probably wrapped it. You did the big ace wrap. You pulled, the compression
to warm up, got it hot.
You got to warm it up. You got to stretch it out. But now, there's new science, our biologics. We can drop a little biologics in there that will help that healing, advance the natural healing of the body. A lot of times we don't finish it, right? So you're talking about maintenance. I think right now the focus for him is to get that healed as much as possible up to, that 80-90% with no pain. But for that explosiveness, you don't want him to step off at all. So, he's going to be, dynamic warm-ups, cool-downs. He's got a trainer dedicated to him to flex and actually tease out that area so it doesn't get too much of like a the fluid around it, the inflammation around it's important.
Another question for you: the pec. Last year is CD Deuce. Early on in training camp, it's Emmanuel Mosley. And now it's young Terrion Arnold, first-round draft pick for the Detroit Lions. Now, he didn't tear it, but he did hurt it. Just talk about the pec and how you injure the pec, how hard it is to injure the pec, and are there different levels? Because he's not out for the year, but yet and still the pec is bothering him. There's a lot of pec injuries in Detroit.
I know, it's kind of unusual, to be honest. I don't know what they're doing. A lot of times we need to maybe look at the training, the way they're training, and the way they're lifting. So the pec muscle, just so everybody knows, it's not just one big muscle. We call it the beauty muscles. There's 3 muscles in there also. So you're looking at different attachments. It all kind of comes up to the collarbone and up into the shoulder, but it also goes, covers your chest bones. They're hard to hurt. They're really, it's hard to tear one of those. You're either overextended or you're out wide, where you put your body at a disadvantage and you get a tear. Honestly, a lot of times when I hear about pec muscles, we look for things like what are they supplementing with, because some of these supplements will make you brittle, will make that muscle a little bit more brittle. I said it before, a lot of my bodybuilders I have problems with because they are supplementing for size, and then they go, like, it's not usually in their actual workout, it's usually when they're getting ready to work out, like the way they lift up the barbell or things like that. With this, it wasn't the case. It probably was more of an extension of the arm. And is it that unfortunate? I mean, we've had 3 in a year. It isn't. I don't know if another team's had 1, but I don't know. We got to look at that stack if anybody can pull it. But I think 3 injuries for us and the young. I don't have an explanation. They're hard muscles to tear. Granted, his isn't tear. He's injured. We may be doing the same thing for him, is sitting him down. He's got a tweak. Let's call it a tweak. Yeah. And then we're going to be overly cautious with him because of the other 2 injuries. We just get a little gun shy, which I'm hoping that's all it is for the Lions.
Okay.
Doc, I got 3 questions for you today. First, we're going to stick with the Lions and the rookies. Guy named Christian Mahogany, who was rated in the top 100 football college prospects, slipped until the very last pick of the 6th round for the Detroit Lions. He had an ACL injury in 2022, but what they say that held him back the most in where he slipped in the draft was the fact that one of his legs is a lot longer than the other leg. This is new to me. This isn't a common football injury that we hear about. In fact, it's a birth defect or whatever you want to call it. Have you encountered this type of thing before? Is this something that holds athletes back? Because we have not seen Mahogany in a uniform yet. He's only been in street clothes so far.
So when you talk about a big leg discrepancy, it's not like inches. It's not like, it's nothing like, where it's a larger size, we'll keep it to football. But it's millimeters, right? So millimeters will throw you off, or centimeters for all us, non-metric people. But it will throw off the mechanics. But if this person has developed through his career, his body's already adjusted. So the ACL injury, did they put in an extra millimeter or shorten them an extra millimeter? I don't know. Sometimes that does happen with fractures and things like that. We usually can compensate. It's not major leg length discrepancy because he probably wouldn't have got to the level he is. It's probably minimal that's now been exaggerated since the surgery, and we're looking at it. I mean, a lot of times you can do inserts in the shoe up to a certain amount, and then you can do an external insert outside the shoe just to balance. And why do we want to balance? Again, I give the example of the car going down the road. When one tire is a little bit lower out of alignment, you're still going to get to point to your location, but you're not going to get there as efficient. So with that, it plays a major role. It's all about the mechanics. These are sharpened athletes. They have to be perfect specimens. We just got through the Olympics. You're talking about milliseconds of time making a difference. Your mechanics make a difference. Leg length discrepancies make a difference in your mechanics and your speed, but you compensate. A lot of guys compensate. Like, I remember, we talk about flat feet, not to switch the subject, but I'm going to switch it for a second. Flat feet, you're not fast with flat, no arches. Nope. I had a guy on our arena football team. He was the worst set of feet ever. no inserts, no nothing, but he was quick as heck. Even like Jordan, he's bow-legged. I mean, there's different mechanics that these guys
Bow-legged people were fast though. That was the rumor in the hood when I grew up. Hey, if you bow-legged, you can run. If you bow-legged, you can run and jump. And my Lions, you can jump and
You
run.
can ask me. I know the answer.
I've never heard that one.
Obviously, I'm just saying.
No, it's true. It's a different. There's vectors. There's vectors of speed. Not to get into the physics of it, but there's certain angles from your ankle to your knee to your hip that promotes efficiency. We want certain angles to be there. A flat foot will kind of bring it in, which bows your knee out, but then takes more pressure on your hip. So it kind of switches it off. So we're always looking for the perfect specimen, but then a handful fall through the cracks that are also, they accelerate at that level. But then you look at their hips, they wear a little bit differently, but that's later in their life.
So we can expect Jordan to have some hip issues later on, it sounds like.
Probably.
Now, earlier in our first hour, we were made aware that professional athletes sometimes lie about how they got injured.
Well, it's not a lie. It's just
So somebody was playing basketball to catch you up.
Truth.
And he hurt himself after a dunk, and he told a half-truth that his dog tripped him. I want to know what the best athlete lie that they eventually were truthful to you. What was the craziest story?
I can't.
Oh, come on. You don't have to tell who it was.
This is very true. You don't have to say who it was.
I mean, there's some, even entertainers have done it, not just athletes with me. It's, you get excited after certain games and you're doing certain activities late at night, and you're challenged to do something like jump over something. And,
Okay, I like it.
And you may not make it when you're a little happier than you should be. And
Solid.
It's
not
there's
right.
over
Solid.
25 plus years I got some stories. The rock star ones are a little bit better, but
I bet.
then they confess a little bit quicker than the athletes. I call BS on them a little bit quicker. I go,
That's because the rock stars, they don't get doc pay for getting hurt. They still can sing and do the things like
that's
football
right.
players, basketball, golf, whatever. We get hurt. It's the contract.
some of the rock stars wear it as a badge of honor too.
Yeah, I was going to see the Beastie Boys, and they were with Rage Against the Machine, and they canceled it because I guess Mike Ill somehow broke his leg the day before. Still heartbroken about that. But
Like
then,
2 years ago?
No. It's many years ago.
Okay.
Many
Yeah,
years
I
ago.
don't know if I was covering that one.
Okay, so I got one ridiculous question for you here. Still in your industry, though.
Okay.
Your wheelhouse. We had that card up here earlier, all right?
Yes.
So now there's a new thing in sports cards where people are using CT scanners to scan the boxes, the big like $10,000 boxes of cards, to find out if they have the limited numbers and if they have like, you want the LeBron James. So my question for you, Doc, is
I
a
used to do
fun
that
one.
back in the day.
What is the least medical use you've ever put a CT scanner to?
I don't know if I can answer that. I've never thought of abusing the imaging. I don't know if I have an answer for that one.
So much like they have grading companies, there is a new company that has come out where you send them a box or a sealed pack. And we're not talking about the stuff you buy at Myers. We're talking about the $10,000 National Treasures boxes and stuff. And these people are
is
buying
crazy.
cases, sending them the cases, scanning the boxes, finding what the good ones have, and then releasing the dud boxes and selling them. So it's a thing. It
Very
may be a
elaborate.
side industry for you, but it's a real thing now with the CT scanners.
Wow. Maybe there's a whole new use. How much do they charge for that?
Not cheap.
An average CT scan for your body is $300. Maybe
go.
this is a new way for the imaging company to
I'll
make
send you
money.
the link, Doc.
Doc, you sound excited when you were talking about a NASCAR driver. When you came in, I wanted you to share that story on the air as well.
No, I just, shout out. We talked before how we're available, talking about Michigan Sports and Spying. We're available to Canada. I mean, we have a lot of Canadian players because when I was real big in the hockey, we had a lot of people coming over. And there was just an individual yesterday who came in, a NASCAR driver, who he's trying to make it to the I guess it's the B circuit, trying to make it to the A circuit. Shout out to Michigan Speedway. I think they got a big race coming up this weekend. But he went airborne about 8 feet in the air. He got cut off. They were jamming for the last lap, and he got airborne about 8 feet in the air, comes down hard, pelvis, back, the whole thing. So he ended up getting a compression fracture, and the Canadian ER basically said, "You'll be fine. Your body will tell you what to do." I'm like, if I got away with that, I'd be happy. But
Braylon, you ever
can't
jumped
get
a
away.
car?
What's that?
You guys ever jumped a car before?
No.
Oh, it slams down real hard.
Yeah, I mean,
Real
going
hard.
140 miles an hour, I can't imagine the forces on that.
What did he say? What was said?
So
The
they
Canadian
gave him a
driver.
diagnosis, which was accurate, as a T7 compression fracture.
Okay.
He's like, well, what can I do and can't do? This is he's going to the next level. He's got sponsors. He's got
Right.
responsibilities. And they basically said, well, you'll know what to do. Your body will let you know.
That's very vague.
Very vague. Otherwise, he's like, I had to come, he
Canadian medicine's not the best, huh?
Huh?
Canadian medicine not the best, huh?
No. I mean,
It's okay. We can say these things.
I mean, we got Canadian viewers. I mean, they know. I mean, they're welcome to come to us. I mean, we cater to Canada since we're so close to Windsor. We have the imaging. We have everything all set up for Canada to do that. Obviously as a cash pay, but he was getting that he didn't get the right advice. Within 10 minutes, he felt a lot more comfortable what he can and can't do. Can I get back in the car? What do I do? And we gave him I believe very good guidance. So, one more thing with JJ.
All right, let's talk about it. J.J. McCarthy. You talking about J.J. McCarthy?
Yeah, so
Came out that he had a torn ACL. We thought it was a meniscus at first.
Oh,
Turns out that because that's what they said when it first came out. Said it
so
was
it's
a
an
meniscus.
ACL
Yeah.
issue.
Is it ACL?
Oh.
yeah, I want to get that confirmed. Is that confirmed?
Not to my knowledge. I thought when he came out, he was out for the season.
When it came out yesterday, it was a meniscus that I thought he should be back within 6 weeks to 3 months.
Meniscus can't keep you out for a whole season.
A complete tear of ACL?
Oh,
A medial
MCL.
collateral
A
ligament?
medial collateral.
Meniscus. But even a complete tear of the meniscus,
It's like 8 weeks.
yeah.
It's like 8 weeks.
They're
So-
saying he's out for the season.
So is this?
I don't.
We don't know the information, right? So let's say it is a meniscus, and let's say it's the worst type of meniscus, and we're guessing, we're speculating. Would this be the Minnesota Vikings just keeping him back because they don't want to have to go through 8 weeks of surgery, rehab, physical therapy, getting back on the field, and then, oh, by the way, he's a rookie playing? This is just them shutting it down, right?
It sounds like I'm shutting it down because it doesn't make sense. A meniscal injury, repair or not, it's not a season ending.
2 months?
Yeah, I mean, you can go. I mean, we always say 6 months, right, because of physiological healing. But usually a meniscal injury, even if it was repaired, which means they would stitch it up as much as possible
6
and
to 8.
remove the fragments, the fraying of the ligament. But something's not adding up
Agreed.
to the information. There's got to be either more going on or, like you said, let's just, okay, this is a bad injury at the beginning. You got a lot of potential. You maybe or maybe we're not playing this year. Let's get you healthy for next year. So I don't know exactly.
And this comes from Pete. This is appreciate you, Pete. This is via Adam Schefter. Surgery on J.J. McCarthy's torn meniscus led by Vikings team physician Dr. Chris Larson. Interesting, he chose to stick in Minnesota. Many people go outside
Right.
the team, and we know a lot of places they go. So very interesting, Minnesota. I've never heard about their medical team, but he chose to stay in town. Chris Larson at Twin Cities Orthopedics in Eagan. The procedure did reveal a repair was necessary. Andy McCarthy's 2024 season.
Right.
And I'm
I
still
read
confused.
that. I saw
tore
the
my
same
meniscus
thing.
And ACL. I came back after.
I got a
months.
question. How does he not go to the University of Michigan for that?
I didn't go to
No.
Michigan either, so I mean.
Michigan.
No, you didn't?
you don't wanna-
I wouldn't know. Is it
No, there's a handful of guys. Fortunately, unfortunately, it's probably more through the agents. They have connections to their agents where they're the accepted group.
Usually they go to
This guy could be
Alabama.
Mayo Clinic too, but Mayo Clinic sports medicine is they're good. I mean, if it's a simple meniscus, it should be a simple meniscal repair.
Right.
That doesn't put you out for the season. So I don't know. I would wait for an update on that or more details.
I
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insight with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that I trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.